Gears of War Damnation, Chapter 2, Nightmares Come to Life.
So still trying to confirm. It seems like reports saying that untold masses of men, women, and children have been butchered since last night's emergence are true.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Me and my parents just sat there in horror watching the news for hours about how the world was being torn apart. Completely ripped up and thrown away by these things. And to think, just yesterday, I went to work, talked to my friends, and had a normal day. I was complaining about normal things. And all of that is gone now. All of it. And everyone I know is either dead or missing. I don't even know what's going on with my brother right now. I haven't heard from him. I hope he's okay. I sat there in so much disbelief of what was going on. I just couldn't believe it. I kept hoping that I would just wake up, that it would just be some type of horrific dream where these demons just came out and murdered everyone, and I'd wake up in bed like I normally did and just go to work and have a normal day. But I wasn't so lucky. The only thing that was going for me is that my parents were alive and we were at their house, which is actually a house that my parents inherited from my grandfather. He was a veteran in the Pendulum Wars, and it's actually a very secure house, secluded away from the city. I know my brother knew this is where to go in case something crazy happened. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Out of nowhere the phone rang, and I answered it. It was him. He was okay, but he was actually stranded. About a few miles down the road. I guess he was being chased by those things, and his car got shot up. But he was actually fine. I needed to go meet him, so I decided to take the car that I got from before and go pick him up. He was fine. He was very shaken, but fine. We were resting inside the house, and everything seemed okay so far. But in the distance, we could hear noises. Something that sounded, while far away, at the same time too close for comfort. And as time grew, so did the noises. It sounded like shaking and gunfire. We knew we didn't have enough time to prepare ourselves for what was coming next. We knew it was only going to be a few more minutes or so before those things reached us. So what my parents did is they actually took all of us and put us inside the panic room inside the house. My grandfather was pretty dang loaded, so having something like this was very, very great and made me feel safe. We should have known better. We were waiting inside the panic room, all four of us, me, my brother, and my parents. And everything seemed fine until we were reminded of one fatal fact. Those things come from underground, and the panic room was underground. Before we could even react, one of the walls in the far end busted open. It sent us all flying, and 1 second we're standing, and the next I'm on the ground in a pool of my own blood. All I remember seeing was a hole in the far end, and seeing legs retracting into the darkness. The legs looked spider-like, and I could hear rustling and sound coming from that hole. I knew we needed to get out. Luckily, when the wall busted open, it didn't cover the exit. So we immediately got up and tried to make a break for it. But where was my mom? I looked and I saw her on the ground. She was hurt. When the wall busted open, a piece of rubble hit her in her leg really hard, to the extent that it even broke her leg, and she was covered in multiple pieces of hard concrete. I immediately removed it all, and I wasn't going to give up on her. Never. So I put her arm over mine and immediately tried to carry her out. I made it to the living room with my brother and my dad. And we can hear those things in the panic room underneath us. And we needed to make a break for it. We needed some way out. Going to the front yard wasn't an option. And my dad informed me that we pretty much needed to make it to the back of the house, because that's where we actually had a few of my grandfather's cars. And my dad actually offered to hold my mom while I try to go get to the car. It looked like we were scot-free until next thing I knew, we were being chased by a swarm of little creatures with razor-sharp fangs and teeth. Me and my brother were ahead of my parents because we were trying to get to the car before them so we could help our mom get in. We should have known that wasn't safe. All I saw next was my parents being surrounded by those things. They immediately went for my mom because they knew that she was weak. My dad tried to fight them off. And next thing I knew, they were just covered. All I saw was red. All I saw was red. We made a break for it. We were able to make it to my grandfather's car, and we immediately turned it on. Drove down the street as fast as we could. We saw a few more of those human-looking versions, taking as many bullets and shots as they could at us as we got away. What now? What now?